keep it going. I don't need it. Try to be confident, they calling me conceited. Hit rock bottom, ain't no telling where my peak is. All this time I kept your dirty little secret. Pour my heart out like a river, you can stream it. Held you down back when you didn't have a backbone. I can do anything except for make a bad song. I won't stop till I check off every achievement. Thought it was you need to double check your thesis. I'm a heathen, I'm a bad boy, barely breathing. Through the struggle, hell and back, yeah, that's where we been. Leap of faith, cause I don't know what I'm a leaping. Oh, held you down back when you didn't have a backbone. Liked you better when you didn't put a mask on. In my pocket, I'ma pick apart the defense. Best believe it, show me what you made of. Can't you tell that I've been dying to see? You're the only one that stayed up. Every other person went to sleep, baby, what are you afraid of? Let me be the one to
What's up, guys? Third Nation, it's your boy Chris. I'm back with another Nerds at 9 episode, first one of this week. So you know that means we got a lot of stuff to get into. The weekend always has all type of sporting events, and you know this week's no different. From the title of the video, March is here. Bring on the madness. I'm livid right now. I'm trying to stay positive, continue laughing on, but my Towson Tigers, I got the hoodie on. We dropped a tough one tonight in the CAA semifinals to Delaware. We were the top seed, lost by 13. Delaware the 5th seed. We had beat them twice in the season, so that's a tough one, a tough pill to swallow for sure. We might make the NIT tournament or something like that, but our NCAA tournament hopes are gone now. I just wanted to throw that in. I am going to talk about the NCAA tournament, some teams that have already punched their ticket, other teams still playing, and just some teams on the bubble, all that kind of stuff. Also, big NFL, NBA news coming out today. Wanted to touch on a couple things I saw from the Combine this weekend. So, like I said, the Monday episodes usually is where you're going to get the most variety of topics. I'm going to try to go through a bunch of stuff as quickly as I can just because, like I said, so much stuff happens over the weekend. But go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're feeling the content. My guy Recreation right here, all the song titles. He's kind enough to let me use his music for this, so shout out to him for creating the vibe. If you like that vibe, you can follow him. Instagram, I got all his links in the description of this video if you're interested. Other than that, let's just get right into it. So I talked about Towson. Many conference tournaments, just like the Colonial Conference, are going on right now. A few have concluded. Murray State, Longwood, and Loyola Chicago are the first 3 teams to clinch a spot in the tournament. Obviously, these first tournaments are usually the smaller conferences in Division I. So these are the teams that potentially end up being the upset picks, the Cinderella stories, the high seeded teams that make it deep in the tournament. So I have really enjoyed watching some of these tournaments. Currently, Louisiana is playing Georgia State for the Sun Belt Championship, and Furman is playing against Chattanooga for the Southern Championship. So 2 more tickets will be punched tonight. Obviously, we got 63 more teams after that, so a lot of teams going to be vying for those last spots. I do have, Joe Lenardi's last 4 in pulled up here. First 4 out, next 4 out, that kind of thing. So I'm going to throw that up on the screen here. Just so you guys can get a view of, these are the teams I'm really going to be keeping an eye on. This weekend, it's exciting. I'm watch a team like Indiana, who's right there in the first 4 out. Can they steal a couple games in the Big Ten tournament? Same with Virginia Tech, Florida, Virginia, BYU, Texas A&M. These are some of the bigger name schools. They're definitely going to be on TV. You can definitely watch these games, see how this team respond, or these teams, respond with their backs up against the wall, because that's what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. And maybe, you might find that upset pick that gives you the edge in your bracket. So definitely keep an eye on those teams. As far as the last four in and the last four buys, I guess that's like, the four right before the last four in. So those teams, obviously, they don't have to win the tournament to make it in, but if they lose first round, those will be the teams that are getting jumped by these Indiana, BYU, Dayton, all that good stuff. So I'm definitely interested. I want to see Memphis get in there. Michigan, I don't know if Juwan Howard's going to be back. I thought he was just suspended for the regular season. So Juwan Howard might be back. I don't know if that's good or bad for the team, but I do want to see Michigan in. I definitely want to see Memphis in. I think Memphis, if they get in, that's definitely going to be the team that, I'm probably going to look, and depending on who they play, obviously, but they could advance a few rounds. Memphis has a lot of talent, including Jalen Duran, who's, I think his stock has fallen a little bit, but he's definitely going to be a lottery pick in the draft this year. They got a couple other guys. So those two teams for sure, definitely want to see them in. I'd love to see Rutgers in, just because, they haven't really had the greatest program throughout the years. So, yeah, that's really how I'm feeling about, these bubble teams, as people call them. So, yeah, continue to watch these conference tournaments. That's how you get the edge in, making your NCAA bracket at the end of the day. But honestly, I mean, you can do all that in the world, and no one really knows. So I'm just excited that March is finally here. You guys can let me know who you guys think is going to win it all. I'm still deciding on that one. I like to see the bracket first, because I think matchups, basketball is a game of matchups, and most sports really are. So, yeah. But there's definitely at least 8 to 10 teams I could see taking home the title. So this is going to be a great tournament. Definitely excited for that. But yeah, we can move on and talk about, the professionals a little bit. LeBron James, actually, they're playing right now against the Spurs. He's actually going to miss tonight's game with, quote, significant knee soreness. So that doesn't sound very good. But he did just go for 56 on Saturday night against the Warriors. I know everybody saw that, one of the all-time great performances from one of the all-time great players. So I just wanted to give him a shout-out. I mean, he's still doing it at a high level. They won that game, which right now for the Lakers, that's the big thing, is winning these games. They're still currently in the 9th seed, still, vying for that playoff spot. And it looks like they're going to be in a play-in spot, and they got to at least hold on to that. So we'll see what happens with LeBron and the Lakers. I don't think this is anything, serious, but it is something to keep an eye on for sure. The next one is definitely kind of serious. Jared Allen out indefinitely with a fractured finger. I've been a big fan of Jared Allen this year. Career highs, 16.1 points, 10.8 rebounds a game, 67.7% from the field. I should have looked up his block numbers, because I know he's a good shot blocker as well, good defender. He's really anchored the Cavs defense. Currently 37-27, only in the 6th seed in the East right now. They're only 2.5 games behind the 76ers and the Bucks for the 2nd seed. So obviously not having Jared Allen for a little while might hurt their chances of moving up higher. But we'll see. Again, fractured finger, it's not like, season ending. At least it doesn't sound that way. But when I hear out indefinitely, that's definitely not a good sign. So they're going to need him. We'll see what happens there. I mean, like I said, they need him for sure, but they miss Garland for a few games coming out of the All-Star break. They're right now they're just kind of weathering the storm. I think they should be fine as far as, staying in that top 6, not having to get into a play-in game. But I think that's definitely the concern now for the Cavs. It's just staying in the top 6, and potentially getting in the top 4. That way they can get a first-round home playoff game. But yeah, you know what it is. That's huge, man. I'm sad for Jared Allen. I really am. But moving on to some brighter news, I guess. The number 1 seed Miami Heat, currently 43-22, 3 games ahead of the 76ers and Bucks, who are tied for that second spot right now. They're getting Victor Oladipo back tonight against the Rockets. So obviously Victor Oladipo has been a very good player in this league before in the past. It hasn't been going so good lately. He's had a lot of injuries, especially, leg and knee type injuries, and it's sometimes hard to come back from those. So he's actually a hometown kid. He's actually from around, the area I'm from. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for Victor Oladipo. As soon as I get off of here tonight, that's what I'm going to be watching. Victor Oladipo for sure. And then obviously these conference tournament games. We got our first question from my guy, Andres. He said, did Towson win? Man, he must have came in a little bit late on the video, but no, we did not win. I'm very upset. Just one of the worst games we played all season. Obviously, we beat Delaware the first 2 times we played them. Just didn't have it tonight. A lot of the shooters, Nick Timberlake. Who's my other guy? Gibson. Just off nights. It was a rough. We got a lot of players that might be the best player, but I think our best player, Charles Thompson, he rolled his ankle in the first game of the conference tournament. And look, I'm not making excuses. We still needed to come out and play well. Charles, he tried to give us what he could. It was clear, he just wasn't moving around well out there. Some of the reserves gave us some big minutes. They played pretty decent, but Cam Holden, another guy, they said he suffered a wrist injury in the first game. He was terrible tonight, just flat out, especially on the offensive end. His defense was always there, but he was terrible offensively. So when our best player is barely playing, our next best player is having a tough night, and then our best shooter was having a tough shooting night. Just kind of one of those nights, man. And obviously, it's not our year. We're not going to the tournament. But yeah, I'm moving on. I'm moved completely off basketball with that one. That's kind of all the news I have around NCAA, NBA. If you guys got anything else, let me know. If you want me to talk about something, feel free to comment. Like I said, feel free to hit me on Instagram. Let me know what I need to talk about. But the rest of this episode here, I'm going to talk some NFL. Starting with the big news of the day. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, suspended for the entire 2022 season for gambling on games. Just completely idiotic move. Like I mean, it's real easy, to criticize a guy, sitting back from the sidelines. The regular person in society is allowed to bet now. So, I mean, technically he didn't really do anything that was against the law, but he did something that was against the rules. And I'm sure he knew this. I'm sure we all know about Pete Rose, the great baseball player who was essentially banned from baseball just because, he gambled on games. So just knowing that and knowing the history and knowing that, it's against the rules, it was just a dumb move on Ridley's part. He said he only wagered $1,500, which makes it even more stupid in my opinion, because now he's going to miss out on $11.1 million that he would have made, from the NFL this season. Also, he was already away from the team for personal reasons, and these days, I give every guy, the benefit of the doubt when they aren't with the team. They're going through personal things. It is what it is. Sometimes life is bigger than football, is bigger than the game, and that's understandable. So I mean, they said he did it while he was away from the team. So I just think that complete lack of judgment, just completely. I mean, he must be having a really bad year, just looking for some new type of thrill, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go too hard on the guy. Like, obviously, he's gonna have to take on the consequences. So he's gonna either he'll learn or he won't. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna say that he's a bad guy or anything like that. I'm sure people have made mistakes before. Like I said, he was away from the team, so obviously he's been going through a lot. And I just hope that his life gets better, because from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like things are going that great for him. So hopefully we're rooting for Calvin Ridley here. All us sports nerds. I mean, I guess I don't really speak for the other sports nerds out there. You guys can let me know if you're rooting for Calvin Ridley, what you guys think. I mean, did you guys agree with the suspension? I'm glad they didn't ban him for life, because I feel like that would have been a little overboard. They said he did bet on the Falcons too, so he kind of was betting on his guys to go out there and win. And they said he didn't have any inside information, so I don't think it was that egregious. It's just a poor decision, So it is what it is. No Calvin Ridley. There was already reports he doesn't want to be with the Falcons next season. Obviously, I can't see anyone trading for him right now, so he'll probably just be on the Falcons but suspended, and then we'll see what happens to him from there. I don't know if it's gonna affect his future with another team or anything like that, but we'll see moving forward. Hopefully, like I said, this is rock bottom for him, and he bounces back. But moving on, I hate talking about the bad news, man. It's tough. I don't like that stuff. So I'm talking about some players that got franchise tagged today. I guess you could say that's bad news in a way for some of them that were tagged, not getting the opportunity to hit free agency. But Bengals safety Jesse Bates III made huge plays in their playoff run. Obviously, it came up short in the Super Bowl, but Jesse Bates definitely proved his worth. The next one kind of questionable to me. Browns tight end David Njoku. And I mean, obviously, I'm not saying Njoku's like a bad player or anything, but if you know about the franchise tag, you're going to have to pay a decent price, a salary for one season that's, in accordance with the top 5 paid players at the position. So he's going to be getting paid like a top 5 tight end this year. I guess, look, if they can afford him, making like $10, $11 million a year, I guess so. I personally wouldn't spend that price. They already have Austin Hooper and that other guy. I think it's Harrison Bryant. His first name might not be Harrison, but it's something Bryant. So I wouldn't have done that. But we'll see. Shout out to Njoku. Glad he got his money, I guess. I mean, at least for 1 year. So it is what it is. And the Chiefs left tackle Orlando Brown, who they traded a first round pick to the Ravens to get him last year. So it makes sense they're going to franchise tag him. You don't just give up a first round pick for a 1 year rental and then just let the guy walk out of the door. So no more surprises there. Still no news on Devontae Adams franchise tag, but I expect that news should be coming pretty soon. I don't see a scenario where they don't at least tag him. Even if they are looking to move on, they can get some assets back for him. Other than that, did want to quickly talk about just what I saw from the defense at the NFL Combine this weekend. I was in shock, on Friday talking about the 8 receivers that ran sub 4.4 40s, and the DBs actually beat them out. 10 DBs ran sub 4 40s at the Combine. Not going to list them all off, but the 2 top guys were Kalon Barnes from Baylor. He ran a 4.23, which is the second fastest ever since they made it official back in, I don't know, sometime in the early 2000s. So the second fastest in a very long time there. And then also Tariq Woolen from Texas San Antonio ran a 4.26. So a couple guys that are moving. I hadn't really heard of either of them, so we'll see what happens. The guy Woolen also had the highest vertical for a DB, and tied for the highest out of any position, 42 inches. So some guys keep an eye on that. That guy seems really athletic. Coming from UTSA, a super small school. I've never watched him play, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. And some spam comments here. I mean, I guess we'll take it. We'll take more interaction. Help the algorithm. Thank you, spammers. But 3 linebackers ran a sub 4.5. I thought that was big, including Channing Tindall out of Georgia, who also had a 42-inch vertical to tie with Woolen, the defensive back. So that guy Tindall, obviously part of the championship defense. I think he could be a really, really good player. Just a guy that you can use in many different situations. Fastest one, Troy Anderson, Montana State, 4.42 for a linebacker. So another small school guy to keep an eye on. That was kind of hard to say. Last couple things here. Georgia had 2 defensive tackles that weigh over 300 pounds that ran 4.77 and 4.78 at the combine. Devontae Wyatt, 6'3", 304, ran a 4.77. So that big boy was moving. And then the other one, man, we got the same song twice in a row. Come on, Spotify, help me out with the shuffle. But okay, the other one, Jordan Davis, 6'6", 341. This is a big man, one of the biggest dudes at the combine. I know there was a guy that was like 374 or something, but 341 is definitely a huge guy. 4.78 40, definitely moving up draft boards. He's definitely gonna make himself some money with that one. And then the last one, the fastest edge rusher, was a guy named Amari Barno from Virginia Tech. I'm not too familiar with him, but this guy ran a 4.36 as an edge rusher. So that kind of speed. Obviously, with the edge rushers, you want to see what kind of bend they have coming off the edge. But that speed is something that can definitely be used. And then Sam Williams from Ole Miss, another guy. He hit 4.46 as an edge rusher. That was the second fastest. The only other guy under 4.5. So definitely some guys to keep eyes on in there. I'll probably spend some time this week just watching some highlights of these top performers at the combine. See if some of those traits jump out to me from the film. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe there's some steals there. I definitely am intrigued by a guy that's 341 and runs a 4.78. So I mean, obviously he's coming from Georgia. Again, like I mentioned with Tindall, the linebacker, they got some guys. So Georgia, I don't know what the over-under is for their first-round picks, but I think it's got to be at least like 3 or 4 that I see going in the first round. So, yeah, I'm super excited. NFL draft, I'm not sure the exact date, but it should be sometime in April. Usually always is. So, yeah, we're going to be talking to NFL, talking to NBA like always. Like I said, March is here. Bring on the madness. It is here now, so I need to log off, watch some more basketball. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my night. You guys let me know if I missed anything, if you want me to talk about anything tomorrow or anything like that. You guys know where to find me. All the social media is right here at the bottom. It is what it is. Hit me up. We'll be back on tomorrow night at 9. Subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands anymore, but I'll see you guys. Thank you. Keep nerding it up.